Today we got brother Travis TNT Taylor. He's a striking coach, MMA coach over in Lantana. Had a bunch of amateur fights, had a few pro fights. But yeah, Travis, introduce yourself.
Hey, how y'all doing, everybody? Yes, my man Greg said, my name is Travis Taylor. Fight name was TNT, so now it's Coach TNT. So I kind of migrated from the fighter life to the coach life, and more so went from being selfish and thinking about myself to more so thinking about under. Hence the reason why I became a coach. Yeah, no, I just try to direct people in the right path, whichever path they decide to choose. You know what I mean?
Right. So tell us a little bit about your upbringing, how faith or spirituality played a role in your early life.
I had so many different challenges and tribulations in my life. We can even talk about how I got the role as a coach. You know what I mean? Everybody told me that I should be a coach. Everybody told me that I would be a great coach. I should try teaching fighters and stuff like that. Even my brother Angel told me this. And he was actually the one who convinced me to quit one of my jobs and work the front desk at the gym. And the minute I made that decision to do it is like a week or 2 weeks later is when he passed away from the car accident. And then out of nowhere, the role of what he was doing at the gym fell onto me. And yeah, I'm happy with being a coach. I will say that. I am happy. But I always say that if Angel was still around, he would be a 10 times better coach than me. I truly believe it. I never thought thinking about that. But then I also thought about if Angel was still around, what would I be doing? Would I be helping him? Would I go back to being my usual self? You know what I mean? Like, would I really care as much? Like, these are things that I thought about. So, like, as much as I miss him, and God knows how much I miss him, I also believe that certain stones are put in front of you for you to step up. You know what I mean? When the moment happened when he passed away, I could have easily just been like, you know what? He's not here no more. There's no reason for me to be here. I need to just go clear my head, go do whatever I needed to do. Instead, I made it a mission to try to do what he wanted to do. You know what I mean? He wanted a fight team. I gave him a fight team. He wanted to make the gym very respectful. I made the gym very respectful. A lot of things that he wanted to bring out of the gym, I did it. And then it went from doing it for him to now it became my dream. It became my passion. So I'm a true believer that certain things happen for a reason. And I'm a true believer that God will put certain situations in you to test you to step up. You know what I mean? He's never going to give you exactly what you want, but what he is going to do is he's going to put you in a position, no matter how hard it is, emotionally, spiritually, but he's going to put you in that position for you to rise. You know what I mean? The biggest thing that I believe that he gives us is a choice, and he puts us in positions to make those choices, and we have to live with them all the time. So like when that moment happened, I've always felt like he put me in a position where I can choose to leave. That would have been my choice. And life for itself, that's what I wanted to do. But I couldn't tell you what I would have been doing after that. I couldn't tell you what the plan would have been for me. I couldn't tell you what my end goal would have been. I made the choice to stay and to grow with it. Now I can tell you my whole future plan that I want to do. Like the vision that I have for the fighters, the little kids, all the development, everything. I can tell you my plan. So like, I believe I made a good choice there. And I do believe that that's where I started putting a lot more trust into him, just because he kept putting me in positions to make decisions, and some of them being really hard decisions that I had to make, and some of them being easy decisions that I chose not to make that ultimately turned into hard decisions that I had to make. You know what I mean?
Where did the trust start to come from? Because I think as human beings, we usually start off like, I'm going to do things my way and my will.
Yep.
As opposed to trusting God. When did that start to come for you?
I will say when everything started going wrong. You know what I mean? You know, like I had when I made decision to try things, I trust him, but I didn't put my trust in him, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And with that, that's literally where I fell into that whole justifying my actions. Never really holding myself accountable, always placing the blame on others, on doing this and doing this, and nothing was getting done. Nothing. And I can't tell you the exact time of date, but it was a moment when everything went wrong. I'm talking about all 5 fighters I had lost, all on the same card. I was embarrassed. I was this and that. And then when I got home, I got into it with my job at my other job that I was working. I had 2 jobs beforehand, then I quit one, kept one, and I was working at a combat club. The minute I made that decision to fully go in and trust in him was when I quit my last job job and I went full throttle into being a coach. That's when I truly, like, I didn't know how I was going to make it. But like, you ever had those moments when you sleep and you constantly see it? Granted, it's not there yet, but you just constantly see it. You don't see no other path, but you just see that one path. I kept having the same dream twice, 3 times, over and over. There was moments that I would have that dream. I would wake up, and then as soon as I go to sleep, I'll have that same dream.
So walk us through the recurring dream.
It was me walking someone to a big stage and me front line coaching them throughout the whole process of being in the fight game. And we're not talking like these amateur shows. I'm talking about an actual big stage like Bellator, UFC, PFL. And the minute, like, it was a fun dream, but then I will wake up and then as soon as I go back to sleep, it'll be do that again, but this time with a different person.
Got it. So I just want to make sure I understand. You're coaching, it's at some high level pro event, UFC, PFL, and what?
Bellator.
Yeah, what happens other than?
Oh, we won every time. Like, it was always like me watching my fighters' hands being raised. I'm being happy. You know what I mean? And again, I'll wake up and then if I go to sleep, I'll have the same dream, but this time a different fighter.
Got it. So all your fighters win every single time in these larger than life promotions.
Yeah. And like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was really crazy. And when I say I kept having that dream, I'm talking about, this is when I worked for the school district. Okay. This is when I worked. So I had a steady job. And for some reason, like I said, I just kept having that dream. So what made me decide to take that jump was, one, I didn't like the current situation I was in with the job at the school district. And I only felt happy when I was at the gym, helping people like my way, pretty much.
Right.
So I talked to my mom and I told her how I felt. And the first thing she always tells me every time I have to get ready to make a decision, pray about it. Just pray about it. Never really listened to her. I ain't gonna lie to you. I never really listened to her. Like, you know, when parents say that to you, like, oh, yeah, I'll pray about it. But this time I actually did.
Now you're old enough to start listening to her.
Exactly. No, but that one I did. Yeah, I just started talking to God. Like, people think that praying is all about just getting on your hands and knees and praying. It's about having a real communication with God, a genuine communication. Like, it's not so much I'm asking you to give me this. I'm not asking you. No, it's just more so like, I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm going through mentally, what I'm thinking at this moment. All I can ask is give me the strength to make the right decision and live with the consequences of whatever happens. That's all I can really ask for. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say, I want you to make me a coach. I'm like, give me the strength to make that right decision. Whether it's to leave the school district and go full throttle in this or not. But I need the courage to know that whatever decision I make, I feel like it was a good decision. You know what I mean?
Right. And so if I'm hearing you correctly, it almost sounds like in your dreams, you're having this continuing message. This is what you need to be doing.
Exactly.
Because you see it, you know, it's at the highest level, UFC, PFL, whatever. Everybody's getting their hand raised. All your fighters. Wouldn't that be something if all your fighters win every single time?
Oh my God.
Never happened in the history of the world.
Oh God. I had a moment of that as an amateur, but not pros. Yeah, not yet. But yeah, no, I just kept doing it. And then when I talked to him, it was a moment at the district when I realized, just being there, I'm not going to lie to you. I said, yeah, I ran my course here. It was just like my heart just literally just said, yeah, you're not supposed to be here.
Right.
So I went ahead and just said, you know what? Okay, I'm okay with this decision now. I told the owner of the gym saying that I want to go full throttle into this. Let's go. Let me know what I can do as far as teaching and everything. I want to be involved as I can be with the fighters and stuff. So one thing led to another, and it was just like, yeah, let's go. Again, when I went into it, it was rough. The first 2-3 months were kind of rough, you know, but I stuck with it. And then out of nowhere, I just started getting more and more fighters. Next thing you know, I'm cornering one of my fighters in Bellator in Ireland.
Right.
He gets his hand raised, and right then and there.
It was that Jordan.
Yeah. Next thing you know, another one of my fighters makes his pro debut at the Hard Rock, Stanley Dorsenville. You know what I mean? Then another one of my pro fighters make his debut in Detroit, John Lopez. I just kept seeing the evolution and the growth of everybody. Next thing you know, Stanley broke the regionals. He's one of my first fighters from amateur to pro next to Janelle, who broke the regional. He goes into LFA, which is right there in USC Fight Pass.
Right.
And puts on amazing performance, being 2-0, fighting a guy who's 4-0 and beating him, you know? And like at these moments, this is like, yes, this is why I did what I did, because I wanted to see the growth in others. At those moments is when, like, you know what? This is the plan that he's always had for me. Regardless of what I wanted to do, regardless of what I tried to do. And boy, if I tell you, I tried a lot of stuff. But this path, the minute I decided, it's like, you know what? Whatever decision you have for me, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it. This is the only decision right now that when I finally just like let him steer the wheel, that I felt at peace. You know what I mean?
I like that line. Jesus, take the wheel. I got a friend. He says that one. I was just wondering how your understanding of God has changed over time. So, you know, it seems like you didn't really listen to your mama when you were younger, but at some point you're like, she says, pray on it. Okay, I start to pray on. I'm just wondering, like, what was that shift? What was that shift like?
It made a really good relationship between me and my mom now. We have great communication now. We talk a lot now. She should have always been my best friend, but now she's like, I can honestly say I'm a full-fledged mama boy. That shift is like, I can say if it's not my family, I do find myself a lot of times happy in my own thoughts. You know what I mean? Because when you live in your own thoughts, or you live in what you try to control, you're always worried about what the next person's saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that is, to me, very stressful. You know what I mean? Always worrying about the next person and the next person and the next person. It never ends. So when I start living in, we can say, the presence of God, or like just working towards what he sees for me, I'm not really worried about what the next person is saying about me.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, when you're seeking what God's will is for your life, this gives you some peace. You're not worried about kind of other people.
Yeah.
Well, how do you connect with God on a daily basis to get to know what his will is, to understand it?
First thing I do, when I wake up in the morning, I already give him thanks. Secondly, like, I meditate in prayer all the time. I drop a scripture every day on my personal page, on my IG page, or something I read.
Right. And, tell people where they can find you, by the way. Where is that? On
my Instagram page, I have two sets of pages. One is my coach's page, Tough and Talented. Another one is TNT Taylor 01. That's my personal page. That's the one I put a lot of my Bible scripture on. I have to keep a business page strictly about coaching and stuff like that. So on my personal time, I love spreading some good scriptures every now and then, some nice prayers. I meditate in prayer every morning. After that, work out, keep my body strong physically as well as mentally. And like, I can say I've developed a piece of love in my own skin. You know what I mean?
Self-love.
Self-love all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not
you just said that's the greatest love of all.
Hey, listen, she's not lying. Like,
yeah,
when you
wrong,
she is not lying. And you know what the crazy part is? A lot of the, I don't want to say OGs, but a lot of the veterans in life all said the same thing. It's just us as younger generation, we don't listen to it until we're put in that position to listen to it. You know what I mean? I've heard a lot of people like, what makes a great relationship? They always say she has to be your friend. She has to be like your best friend. You gotta like her more than you love her. And I never understood that. You know that? And when I see it now, it's like, when you love someone, you can love anybody. You know what I mean? Love is love. You know what I mean? Love is strong. Love is life. But when you like someone, that's genuine. That means, like, I like to be in your space. I like to share my thoughts with you. I like to see how you are doing. You know what I'm saying? I like you. And this is from someone, again, he's an OG, but he's been married for like 30 years. And when I asked him, he said, man, that was my friend first. I liked her. I like being around her. It's not so much just I love her. Of course I love her, but I like being around her. I like waking up to her. I like being there for her. I like it when she cooks with me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, I'm sure it does, man, because, you know, we all like to eat. So
100%. And that just made me think about it a lot of times. Like, the strength of the word like, not just love. Like, the strength of like. Love is universal, but like is like internal. Kind of like, I can like you when you're old. I can like you when you're young. I can like you when you're fat. I can like you when you're skinny. You know what I mean? So it takes away that whole mask. So if we talk about as far as my connection with God is I like to pray to him. I like to talk to him. I'm always at peace when I talk to him.
And how has your faith affected your relationships, your work?
I play gospel music in the gym now.
Oh yeah, what do you jam out to? What do you play?
Jonathan Traylor. I'm a big fan of his. Jonathan Traylor. I love listening to him. Dante Bow is really good too, but I mainly be jamming to Jonathan Traylor. And I will say this though: the parents of the kids class, they love it. They're like they love it. They're like, oh, he's always jamming to gospel music. Sometimes the kids know the songs. It's all cool and everything.
Nice. What about the fighters? They're still kids, but they're like older kids. Right?
Yeah. They don't bug me too much on it in the morning when I come down to like the morning classes or stuff like that. But I will say later on in the afternoon, they'd be like, hey, coach, I ain't gonna lie. Can we play something a little different? Just a little bit. And I'd be like, yeah, sure. I already got my music in right now. I'm good. So we can play. And I still love hip hop. I still love R&B music. I still love all the stuff. But like, I literally nowadays have to wake up and play some good gospel music just to just to warm my spirit off, just to get ready for the day, you know what I mean? But as far as my surrounding of people being around, for the most part right now, at first they were getting annoyed by it, but now they're like, all right, this is Coach Travis. This is how he is now. We cool with it. We like it. He's in good spirit. When he's in good spirit, we get good work. So it's like, I'm like, you're right. If I'm in good spirit, you guys are getting good work. I gotta love being here. You know what I mean? A little bit, yeah. And then I had some conversation with them every once in a while. They'll catch me in those moments, and I get that moment to talk to them. They ask me about certain things. I'll just give my take on it, like not really forcing nothing on them, but just showing them my path, and hopefully they see it and they'll take the path as well. You know what I mean?
Right, because I would imagine, like, as part of your role as a coach, like some of these guys, I mean, they're young. I mean, they're 20s, most of them, and may see you more like a father figure as opposed to like their homie.
Yeah,
and maybe they kind of look up to you in that regard and would listen. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. What's your take on that?
I always believe they look at me as how can I put this? I got it. One of my favorite movies ever to watch, Troy with Brad Pitt. That's one of my favorite movies. Like, regardless of the storyline behind the whole thing, what I like about that movie is they looked at Achilles as a king, but he was a different type of king. He never sat back and let the soldiers do all the work. He did the work with the soldiers. You know what I mean? So he always lived by example. So by my fighters looking at me, I'm in the gym every morning working out. I stay praying. I stay talking to God. I stay making sure I'm okay spiritually, mentally, emotionally, as well as physically. They walk in the same image. So if my coach does it to keep himself spiritually aligned, I do it too. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to take me like, oh, you have to get yourself right. It's more so they'll see it in my action. Like, okay, I see what he's doing and it's working for him because he's so positive.
Right.
Let me try it too.
They see the actions.
Pretty much.
Right.
Not just me saying it.
Right. Because, I got 2 kids. My kids, they do what they see me do. What I do and what I say are 2 different things. That's going to be a problem. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're saying. Oh, so Dad, I see you do this, Dad. Hey, do what I say, not as I do.
Right. Yeah. So that's the key, it sounds like, for you is to do what I do. And then you don't have to say it.
Exactly.
Because they see it.
100%. And they ask me questions all the time, like, Coach, how do you prepare like this? Or how do you keep yourself prepared like this? How do you do this? And I give them my take on what I used to do, and I see them try to imitate the same thing. So when they talk to me, as far as I'll even talk about Stanley, we sometimes have real genuine conversation where he'll be like, I don't know, like my mind just feels all over the place and I really don't know what to do. I said, that just means you're thinking too much because you have a lot on your plate. You ever try just talking to one person? Just talking. He said, what do you mean? Like sometimes when I feel like I got a lot on my plate, I just talk to God. I just talk to him. I'm not saying pray. I'm not saying nothing. I just say talk to him. And it sounds like you just need someone to vent to that's not going to judge you. I'm not going to judge you, but I'm not around you all the time. So you need someone you can just talk to, vent to, and just to get all that weight off your shoulder, off your chest, just so you can feel a little bit lighter. Once you feel a little bit lighter, it helps helps you come up with a solution to what you really need to do.
Yeah, so prayer is, to me, it's just a conversation.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be, you have your set prayers. I do have my set prayers, like the Jesus prayer, Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And I'll repeat that in my breath, and I get centered. But yeah, it's just a conversation. And he's always there to listen. So you explained it. It sounds like in those terms, guys, you can just have a conversation.
Yeah, just talk to him. I mean, just talk. It doesn't always have to be so dramatic, but it can just be a conversation to get his intel of what you think he should do. He already knows it, but like, it feels, you ever heard that phrase when people like, well, they know you love them. Yeah, but it feels good just to say it every once in a while.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He knows what you're going through, but it feels nice just to tell him what you're going through too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's one of those types of feelings like, well, if he's always around, he should always see. Yeah, but he wants to know that you care about you talking about it. It's like that person, that one big friend that always knows you're going through something and they're never going to say nothing until you come to them first and be like, listen, this is what I'm going through. Well, I already knew you was going through this stuff. I wanted to wait when you was ready to talk to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's literally what it's like, bro. So I always tell people that shit. That stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm sure God forgives you.
Yeah, I know. I always tell more than that.
Let me tell you just a quick one on that. So whenever I slip, I try not to slip, but sometimes I do. I ain't perfect. I give my kids one. So I give them a curse word. I'm like, oh, how many you got now? Oh, I got 3. And then they use them at like a particular opportune time. They save them up.
Oh wow! So they treat it like it's actual money. Okay, he gives me one. I gotta save this one that matters. I gotta save it for a good one. I gotta save it for. That's actually pretty smart. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's actually pretty smart. So now they're like, yo, how many you got left? I only got 2. You gotta make them count, boy, because you get too comfortable.
Right. And then my son was like, Dad, you need to start cursing. I need to get some more. I'm getting pretty low.
Wow.
But it's like, look, ain't nobody perfect, everybody, we all slip up, and but it's good to be honest about that. So tell me, what's been the hardest part of your path to God?
Hardest part, I would say staying disciplined. It comes moments when you want to stop because you feel like you don't see nothing, or you feel like he's not watching, and those are the moments you have to keep going. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I would say that in this journey I've been taking, I've learned to get rid of the word motivation, because motivation is temporary, and I stick with the word discipline, consistency and discipline. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's how I dealt with it. I just learned to just stay disciplined, stay obedient, stay consistent, stay disciplined.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's the key to a lot of things in life, the consistency, right? Tell us about, what are your spiritual practices that are consistent?
Well, of course, praying every day, trying my best to see the good in everything, seeing the good in the opportunity of everything, not looking at negative. Because you can look around and you can see a lot of negativity coming your way, but it's to find the good in the negativity. You know what I mean? Like, you drop your car off at the shop, you try to go home, you realize you bought the wrong card for Uber. You're like, you know what an opportunity for me to just walk, listen to some music, and just relax. Not just be like, oh my God, I can't get a ride now. What do I do? Just walk. Just walk now. Breathe. Oh, but now it's hot outside. Oh, there's a gas station. Go give me something to drink. You know what I'm saying? I always look and try to find a positivity in everything I'm doing now.
Right. And I noticed the first thing you mentioned was prayer. Is there a specific time when you do, or a place, or how do you do that?
Well, every Sunday I go to my grandma's gravesite and I pray there. I read scriptures there every Sunday. And the reason why I did that is I remember when my grandma was alive, and this is when I went to Ireland. This is when I went to Hawaii, Ohio, California. I would tell my grandma all these stories about it. And me telling all the story what going on over there, all she will always say to me, I'm just happy to see you. That's all she will always tell me.
Right.
So and again, it's one of those moments that you don't really think about it until she don't say that to you no more. And now it's all you think about. You know what I mean? So like, when she passed, I used to remember like all the times I would tell her about this and this, and she would just tell me that she's just happy to see me. So I made a point to be disciplined to the point where I go to the gravesite every Sunday. At first, when I first started, I was sad, I was crying, whatever. Now it's not even so much sad. I'm happy when I'm over there. I'm I'm in good spirit. But I go there. I go there, read my Bible, read scriptures, pray a little bit. All right, Grandma, I know God needs you now. I'm just wanting to say hi. Thank you for letting me talk to her for a little bit. Continue to watch down on me, and I hope I make you guys proud. I love you. 4 kisses, like I always say to you. And until next Sunday, I see you. You know what I mean? And that's been my ritual every Sunday. But as far as on Monday through Saturday, a lot of times I find myself like in my car right before I step into the gym, listening to the gospel, reading some scriptures, and then I go into the gym. I go in the gym and just do my own sets of workout. I try to get to the gym before anybody get there, just so I can do my own workout, get myself right mentally, spiritually, physically, and then I'm ready to conquer the world. I have to tune myself up before I can help everybody else out. So I always make sure to take care of myself, make sure I am good mentally, spiritually, emotionally, everything's in check, because the world alone will come at you with a whole bunch of surprises. So I have to make sure I'm always ready for whatever comes.
Right. What you said there about I got to tune myself up before I can help anybody else. This was my reading today, Matthew chapter 7, where he says, judge not that you be not judged. He's basically saying, look, you can't be pointing the finger at somebody else who, hey, you got that speck in your eye where you have a mote or beam, something even larger in your eye. And like, you got to clean yourself first.
Yeah.
Before you can help anybody else. And when you take that out, it's a metaphor for spiritual blindness. But when you take that out, then you can help other people. And the way you help other people is by letting go of control. Everybody's on their own path, but just working on your own self, on your own light is exactly what you just said. I got to tune myself up before I can help somebody else.
Exactly. They say in the airline, you got to put on your mask first before you can put on another person's mask. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're no good to anybody if you're not good to yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, I became a firm believer of that, because I've seen people give their all to others and have nothing for themselves. And now they look for others to try to help them, and no one shows up. You know what I mean? And it's sad, but that's true. That's the way the flesh works. That's the way the world works. So like, I always tell people, who are you loyal to? I would hear people say, oh, I'm loyal to my wife. Oh, I'm loyal to this. I said, no, you're loyal to yourself. You have to be loyal to yourself. God and yourself. If you cannot make sure you are okay spiritually, mentally, physically, how are you going to check on someone else? You know? Mm-hmm. So like, I've learned like to just be able to just make sure that my heart is good. My soul is good. My spirit is good. So I can go into the world and be really willing to help, or be ready to help whoever's in front of me. You know what I mean?
Right. And what have you learned about yourself along this spiritual journey?
That I'm hard-headed. I'm hard-headed. Like I said, I was hard-headed. I try to justify a lot of things that I've done. I've never really took accountability for a lot of my actions. You know what I mean? I'm not good at taking compliments, which is weird. I'm not good at taking compliments.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's like when I hear people say good things about me, I start to find myself, it's all right. Thank you. Yeah. Like, I don't speak highly of myself. I don't. You know what I mean?
Why do you think that is?
I couldn't tell you, you know what I mean? I could say it could be, we all say, oh, it's how we were grown up. Nah, my mom loved me to death. You know what I mean? She always made sure I was good. There was never a moment in my family's house that I didn't feel like I was loved. Right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I couldn't tell you where it was at, when it came from. It was either in my own self and like me holding myself back or whatever. But I was very prone to not like take compliments for some reason. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
What about your dad? Tell me about the relationship with your dad.
Oh, me and my dad relationship, at first it started off rocky. It did. You know what I mean? I ain't see the man as much as I would have loved to. But like, I learned to, now I see him every day, you know what I mean? But like, and I told him this to his face, like, you wasn't in my life back in the days. It's pretty much understandable. Yeah. I don't hate you. Every decision that everybody makes, it's their decision, whether it be wrong or right. It's their decision. They got to live with their own consequences. The only thing I can focus on is what we do now. Because you're still my dad. I'm still your son. You're still here. I'm still here. We can focus on right now to make tomorrow a better day. You know what I mean? And me and him have been really, we've been really good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Had conversations. He's told me about that past life, like how he used to be back in the days and stuff like that. So, we had some really, really good conversations.
That's why he wasn't as present as you would like things that he was doing, the path he was going down.
Yep. He had his own reason.
Right.
He didn't apologize for it. He justifies it. And you know what? When you look at your parents, you see kind of where you get it from. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it makes you understand them a lot more. And it makes you understand yourself a lot more. And I guess after when I started having more conversation with him, I started understanding myself a lot more. And that's when I started making all these drastic changes of who I really wanted to be. You know what I mean?
Right. Understood. What advice would you give somebody who's searching for God, but they don't know where to start?
Pick up a book. I'm sorry. It sounds like you know what? The best advice I can give someone is something I did. Turn off your phone. Go for a walk. Just turn off your phone. This whole society is built off technology now these days. You know what I mean? Oh, I can just read the Bible app. Yeah, but that's not giving you a good relationship. Like, you can develop a relationship with him without even realizing you're developing a relationship with him. And I didn't realize that until I started taking a walk without my phone, going for jogs without my phone, find myself at the beach, and I'm just looking at my surroundings. You know what I mean? And I'll tell people that. I was like, yeah, just turn off your phone, go for a walk. And then next day, how do you feel? You know, it felt good, you know? Yeah. Do it again.
Right.
Now, how do you feel? Now I feel good. Now you feel like you want to go for a run. Now you feel like you want to go for a jog, right? Yeah. That's called good energy. Okay. You want to develop yourself to have good energy. You're not going to get good energy by being stuck in electronics, being stuck in the AC vent, being stuck in the house.
Right.
So like with that kind of good energy, like once you learn that good energy, then you learn where that good energy comes from.
I agree 100%. See, God speaks to me in nature. He doesn't speak to me, a lot using technology. If I can get outside, I can hear the birds. I can take a walk, or I ride my bike, or I go to the beach. This is where he speaks to me. And I also have to quiet my mind because he whispers. He doesn't yell. And I couldn't agree more there. Is there a scripture?
But no, as far as the scripture goes, I have two that I stay to me all the time. One, I have them both tatted on my right arm. One is the prayers of Jabez. Oh, that he blessed me and enlarged my territory. Let your hands be with me and keep me from harm so I'll be free from pain. And then the other one is Psalms 144 verse 1. I actually got this one from one of my favorite UFC fighters. Well, he was a UFC fighter, but one of my favorite fighters, Ben Henderson. And I had a chance to actually meet him in Arizona when Stanley won the LFA debut. And I told him this is my favorite Bible scripture, Psalms 144 verse 1. Blessed be the Lord, my rock, that guides my hand for battles and my finger for war. And he was like, I had that same tattoo on his hand. I was like, yes. That made me feel so happy, bro, when I heard that.
Oh, I bet Ben Henderson, the king of calf kicks. He was the one who started that.
God, yes. He had one of the best takedown defenses around. Like, I think, like, people, he don't get enough credit in the UFC, but I believe he had one of the biggest impact in the lightweight division.
Oh, yeah. And his bouts with Cerrone, I think he fought him a couple times.
Yes.
Epic. I mean, just epic back and forth.
I don't know what happened, but they took him out of the game, right? He's not in the game.
Is that
Ben Henderson? I don't know what happened. He's not in the UFC game, and I'm like, why not? Like, in my opinion, Ben Henderson should be going into the Hall of Fame next to Islam. He had defended the belt, fighting everybody, literally everybody. You know what I mean? So, whatever.
But that's great. You guys have that in common. I'm starting to see this more and more, like people coming out, people of faith, fighters, Bryce Mitchell, Vicente Luque, Gilbert Burns, who I know of course, Gilbert and Herbert, Gregory Rodriguez, that group, which is so great. It's so great to see. Almost seems like there's a mass awakening starting, but it's definitely with some of the fighters too, which is very encouraging.
That's what's up. Wow, 100%.
Why do you think the fighters are drawn to God?
Because that's a good one. So we find peace in chaos. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're going into a position where one person wants to take our head off. Another person, which is the referee, want to make sure no one dies. And everybody around us is cheering it on. We have to find peace in that chaos. You know what I mean?
And I've heard that this is like one of your mantras that you tell the fighters, right?
Yes.
Like technical transfer, being present,
Who told you that?
not let your opponent know. Number 2 is defensive responsibility. It's more important than being offensive, right?
Yeah.
And
then
beautiful chaos.
chaos.
Which is kind of what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
Be technical, be precise, hurt them, but peace and chaos
Yeah.
is what you think. Huh?
Who told you that? Like, oh my God,
I have my sources.
oh my God, yes. Technical pressure, defense responsibility, beautiful chaos. You have to understand that it's not personal. It's all business of what you're doing. You have to go in there with the okayness of whatever happens in that cage.
Right.
You know what I mean? And to find peace in that chaos that you are about to create, not so much walk into, you're about to create. You have to find peace in that. And I believe that when you learn to find peace, it's where you learn to find God. That's crazy. I just literally thought about that. Like, yeah.
Yeah, God is, with God, this is the peace. When I'm aligned with him, this is the peace that passes all understanding. It's priceless.
Exactly.
What would it profit a man if he gained the whole world yet lose his own soul? That peace is certainly absolutely priceless. So let's switch gears for just a second. I want you to tell me, who are your like top up and coming fighters? We talked a little bit about Stanley, but tell us who you got coming up.
I think next month we got our boy David Flores. He's an up-and-coming 125er, blue belt jiu-jitsu. He's about to make his second fight. He's already 1-0. Second round submission. He's going for 2-0.
That's he got a triangle arm bar, right? And
yeah,
Warrior.
Oh my God, you done your homework, my brother. I'm very impressed.
Well, dude, I love this stuff.
I see.
We're talking about God and MMA and jiu-jitsu, and like this is.
My next one, maybe on that same card, is my little bougie princess. Her name is Maya Barbosa. She's 1-0 also. She had a hard fight, her debut, and I think she's about to have another war. This girl loves the sport and she's super disciplined. That's all I know right now for September. I may get more. In October, I'm working on my boy Jason Cruz at CFFC, the amateur show. That same show, I'm looking at Eve Nelson for the pro side. He's one of my pros, 1 and 2.
He's got got good striking too. Like I've trained a little bit with him, some jiu-jitsu. This is some years ago, and a good guy, man. I like that guy.
He's an amazing dude. He's like everybody calls. He's like, hey, wow, Travis, he fights just like you. Like, that's the little brother. That's my little brother. I poured my whole set into him. For up and coming fighters who I'm looking to help get fights, of course, my other little one, Ethan Rivera, another 25er. I got a brown belt 170 fighter named Gabriel, who's looking to make his MMA debut.
How many kickboxing matches has he had?
He's about to do his first kickboxing match in September.
All right.
So he wants to start. So
yeah,
we're working on that.
The guys to do the jiu-jitsu guys need to do kickboxing before, right?
100%. Starts 100% before you can take it to the ground. Exactly. You know my metaphor here. Okay. And if you are a striker, okay, well, we need to get you into some jiu-jitsu matches before we go into MMA, because we need to know that you could be okay on the ground.
Right.
I am a firm believer of giving you the opposite of what you want. Okay.
Right.
But yeah, so we got that. And then we got a whole lot of little ones I'm developing. We got a kids tournament coming up in September 28th in Davie, where I'm going to have a lot of the younger ones. It's called Pride Muay Thai. It's a whole kickboxing tournament. I'm going to have some of my little ones and some of the new developing ones come in there, and we're going to see where everybody's at,
Nice.
So I'm in the development stage, which I like very much, brother.
Nice. And I know you guys got the coaches now is Christos
and Alexi, forgot it, who's actually fighting. Yes, just Thursday.
Undefeated.
Oh my God, he's so good. We're actually going out there to go support him.
Amazing. That's right down here at the Hard Rock too.
Yep, right here in Hollywood. I'm gonna say, well, like me and a lot of the fighters from the team are all going out there to go support him.
Nice. Nice. I heard too, he's a very good coach. Like he's very methodical about,
Yes,
and
for
it just goes to show like his mindset, like why he's so good, but he's able to explain it as well. Is that?
Oh man, yes, yes. For someone so young, I like it is amazing of his thought process of how he explains everything from striking to wrestling to jujitsu. It's just like
Right.
unbelievable. That's the best way I can put it. It's unbelievable. I'm very impressed all the time. His striking philosophy and stuff like that. So it's always cool to see when he does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, you guys got quite the crew over there for sure.
We're trying. We're
Yeah.
trying.
Man, what a great time. I'll talk God and like MMA stuff with you all day.
Yeah, and you see it, my phone won't let me because everybody's
Right.
calling me.
Man, everybody wants to talk to Travis, man. Everybody.
That's why I say when you ask me what's a good time, I said, I got a good hour
Right.
at 2. I got a good hour for you, brother.
Yeah. Oh, while we're on the subject still of MMA stuff. So there's one school of thought, the Sean Strickland, let's spar all the time, let's go 100%, versus say Faraz Sahabi, a GSP's coach, that says you shouldn't take, like hard shots in sparring, that's for the fight, maybe leading up to the fight a little bit harder, but you don't want to have like brain damage. What are your thoughts about that, the sparring?
I'm cool with sparring, but like going hard every day. The best way I always tell my fighters is this. What's more important, winning your sparring session or winning your next fight? You know what I mean? So I don't have a problem with you sparring, but what's the end goal here? Are you just trying to spar just to spar, or are you working on certain things? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're going hard or if you're going light, but if you're not working towards something, then what's the purpose of what you're doing? So like with Sean Strickland saying this whole, let's just go, 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 go. I hear you, but he's not really developing nothing new. He's just doing the same thing. He's going in there, sparring hard, hurting guys, getting hurt, throwing back. You know what I mean? So I get where Faraz Sahabi is saying, cool guy, but it also goes into him. And he said we should only save that. So, okay, so I do believe in sparring as much as you can, but I don't believe in sparring hard all the time. I do believe in sparring hard once out of the week. And then you spar the other 2 times, it's just good details. You work in homework that whatever you didn't do in sparring that you want to make sure you do, you do it in detailed sparring, you go light and you try to train yourself to do it.
Yeah, and for
you know what I mean?
Faraz is a man of faith too.
Oh yeah, I know, dude.
Faith, yeah, and you could feel it. You could feel it in his spirit, like when he talked. His TriStar channel, man, I watch that all the time. Like his technique is amazing, but even more important to me, like he's a man of God. He's a man of faith. Seems like a great dude. That's great. You got to meet him. What was he like?
He was really good. It was my pro debut at Titan FC in Richfield, Washington. I lost that fight and he came up to me telling me like, listen, this is why you lost. You need to work on X, Y, and Z at this point. And I guarantee you will be fine your next fight. And I worked on those 2 parts and he was right. I won my next fight. I won it. And he invited me. Never did get a chance to go. I was so mad at myself on that one. He invited me to his gym in TriStar. And like, it was just one of those biggest regrets that I had that I never got a chance to do it. I like, that's honestly to be around, not even just to fight it, but to be around great knowledge now is like, oh my God, so amazing. You know what I mean? When I got a chance to shake hands with Greg Jackson, just the knowledge is crazy. You know what I mean? I got a chance to see Trevor Whitman, Henry Hoot, Pedro Diaz, Faraz Sahabi, all these great coaches. It's like meeting the coaches is almost as good as meeting the fighters. You know what I mean? The fighters are only as good as the coach that helps them through the whole process. So to meet the coach, you're actually meeting the fighter. So when I got a chance to meet these coaches, it's like, I didn't realize how like, oh my God it was until you actually meet them and you see where their knowledge comes from. And it's like, wow, that's amazing.
And Faraz he's a master strategist.
And that's what I'm thriving to be now. That's what I'm thriving to be. I want to see how to win fights. Like everybody's teaching strikes, great, good grappling, good wrestling. Let's focus on how do we win the fights now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what my thought process is.
Yeah, I'm sure he watches, the opponent's tape like in detail and like, oh, here's an opening here, here's an opening here, and then trains right. Yeah, is that what you do?
Same. I would literally sit in front of a TV or my phone, drink some coconut water, whatever, or some greens, vanilla chai tea, and I'll just watch. my fighters will send me videos of their opponent, and I'm just sitting there. Okay, this is how I see us beating this person. We gotta get used to this.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would try my hardest to help them execute a game, come up with a game plan, and then train them to execute the game plan for that fight. And that's all that matters. We need to win the fight, you know? So now, Faraz Sahabi was one. There was another coach I used to always watch. I only knew of him. So instead of actually getting a chance to meet him, I watched his work in the fighters. His name was Benki. He did Bigfoot Silva.
Okay.
He helped Bigfoot Silva versus Fedor and Bigfoot Silva versus Alistair Overeem. And I watched those two fights, and I was like, wow. And those are two fights that, if you think about it in the books, Bigfoot should have lost those fights. And the way that Bigfoot won those fights was amazing. Okay. So like, he's another coach that I like to watch, and I like to see how he dissect fights and everything. I believe the coaches are way more important sometimes than the fighters.
Yeah. And so tell me about, how has your faith affected you as a coach? How is that integrated as you?
My faith? Well, I always pray for my fighters before we go out into the cage. I always pray for them. And if it's cool and everybody in the corner wants to jump into prayer, we all jump into the prayer. The whole red side or blue side, we all jump in this corner and we all pray. But before my fighters go out, I always pray with them. Mm-hmm. And I always say the same prayer. And I always say that we don't pray for victory. We don't pray for defeat. We pray for the strength to go out there and compete. So no matter what happens, whether we rise or we fall, we can walk away knowing that we gave it our all. And that's all he asked for from us to go out there and give us our best. And giving your best, regardless of the outcome, if you know you did everything that you can, you have to be okay with the outcome. They always ask me to pray for them. And when we're done, amen, they're always ready. Before we go and say our mantra, we step in the cage and they go to work. But my faith, I would say my faith had actually strengthened me as a coach a lot. Made me stay more disciplined in my fighters. Made me be more in tune with myself, making sure I'm good physically to help them out when they need me. As a coach or as a teacher, you gotta be on goal to answer every question, ready to jump at a dime when it's time to work and everything. Like, I've seen coaches be like, not today, let's just do this tomorrow. I got my fighter, they hold me, coach, we got this to do. Coach, we gotta go. We gotta work. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. So now I'm the same person. I'm knocking on the door like, hey, it's time for us to go. Let's go. It's time for us to go, you know? So I would say my faith in coaching, I'll say my faith is and made my coaching a lot stronger, I will say. I'm more in tune in what I'm doing. I'm more at peace with what I'm doing. I'm happy to do what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my take on it.
Good. Having some peace and being happy, this is a byproduct of being aligned with the spirit. And if people want to, follow you, tell us again what your Instagrams.
My personal page, TNT Taylor 01. You're gonna see me in this shirt right here with a nice little New York hat, that I represent. And in my second page, which is my coach's page, where you're gonna see all my classes called Tough and Talented. You know what I mean? You're going to see a whole lot of my fighters. You're going to see a lot of the kids. You're going to see a lot of the class work. You're going to see me holding the mitts. So you're just going to see me working, doing what I love to do.
Got it. Well, man, thanks so much for being on. And God loves you, and so do I. May God continue to bless you, brother Travis.
Thank you so much, man. Love you right there, brother.